Okay, now I'm back. So, yeah, so like, yeah, that's how God be coming for me, like for real. So, um, it becomes overwhelming. It's a lot. So, um, in my own truth, what I'm dealing with, so basically, what I want y'all to learn from is, love is an action word for a reason, and it's something that you have to act on, and it's something, you can't speak about um unless you're really talking about God. But when you love somebody or you want to be in love with somebody or you just want to express what it is that you're feeling, it can't come out in words. And and the reason why I say it can come out in words is because it's something that you just have to show. Something you just have to be. And being this definition of love and defining it in your actions, you have to show people that they can trust you. It's nothing that is earned, but it's something that people feel. People feel when they can trust somebody and when they can't. And anytime you giving somebody the half truth, or in my situation, really trying to make the situation work for the both of us, but in all reality, it's not what I want. It's not what I expect out of this. It's not um what I feel. And I have to be honest is because number one, when sorry, I don't eat the end of the banana, I'm sorry. Number one, so when it comes to me and my friends, so like I tell my friends, one of them that I'm super close with, like my ex boon coon. Not everybody that's my friend. But my ex boon coon gonna know everything. And that's because I feel like we shouldn't have no secrets, and I feel like we just have to pour it out and we gotta tell somebody. Because if not, all this stuff is in your head for why. And I ain't got time for that. Number one, I don't like confrontation, I don't like confusion, I don't like messiness. So I had to get it out. Once I get it out and deal with it out, the face is over and done. That point blank period. So when stuff is happening, talk to my friend, this and third, and me and her just be talking. I be like, ugh. Yeah, so like it get confusing, but he took me back to that same conversation, and he like, okay, where your truth at in this? Checkmate. I said, go. What are you talking about? I said, think about it. Where your truth at? You like this guy, you get mixed signals from this guy, this, and the third. You don't know if he want more or he really don't want more. What that sound like? I said, oh, checkmate. Okay, I'll test there. So he like, well, we living in our own truth, right? He said, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about it. I said, okay, Lord, well, let's talk about it. He said, in the beginning, you trying to figure out what changed from now until then. Well, in the beginning, you was honest. Now, not so much. I said, wait a minute, time out. What you mean? I am honest. Well, he said, oh, okay. He said, you want to just be friends, but do things that people do in a relationship. I said, yeah. He said, but you just want to be friends. I said, he said, so tell me, are you playing it safe or you being honest? I said, good God, oh God. Good God. Y'all see what I mean? I just be want to be here, but he don't be letting me be great because he be coming for the girl. But he said we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this right. And I said, God, yeah. He said, now let me take you back. So he took me back to my last relationship, and I said, okay, take me back. He said, now what made it go all out the door? I said, when you felt that you could lie to me. He said, okay. When you felt that he could lie to you. Okay. Did he flat out lie to you? I said, no. He said, so what did he do? I said, well, he told me what he felt like I wanted to hear. He told me half the truth or just a little bit, but it wasn't the truth. Y'all, I be like, I'm gone. Is that how you feel? I'm like, for real, sis. He be like, no, we doing better, so we gotta learn from our mistakes. And like, this how God be giving it to me, like for real. So I just be putting it down. I be like, okay, G, look, taking all kinds of notes. Yeah. Like I'm taking a tear. I'm trying to make. I'm like, okay, checkmate. I had to check my energy. Okay. God said, okay, so in this, what are you going to do different? He was like, are you going to trust me in the process? Or you're going to have a repeated cycle? And he put a few things out there. A few things that he wanted me to push in this. Love is trust. We got to check our energy because too often we self-sabotage ourselves. So there's two resources that I'm gonna put out there today that I use because this is another thing that he want me to tell y'all to start normalizing is using the resources that he put in place, whether it's therapy, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, whether it's YouTube, whether it's the Bible itself. Royale Jackson, no sir. Leave that alone. He want us to use the resources. There's resources for a reason. Whether it's a mentor, whether it's a life coach, whether it's your mother, whether it's your mother-in-law, whether it's your sister, whether it's your cousin, whether it's your friend. Come on now, it's your pastor. I mean, he got these resources, but how many times are we using? How many times we call them up? How many times we put them into play? Like for real, we got resources, but what we doing? You think he put research out there for no reason? We can't Google nothing. Like for real. That's what he told me. So I'm like, he said, go back to your phone. So, kid you not, I went back to my phone. Let me look at this. Let me find the details of this screenshot. Took a screenshot June 29th of last year. 11:31 a.m. Kid you not. Can't make this up. Took a screenshot. Y'all see it? Yeah. So this screenshot was actual footage that I was like, well, I want to reference back to this. I was like, because I feel like that's something I need to assess. And kids, you know, this come from um a place at the point in time when I was looking into therapy and researching therapy and what it looked like, this, and the third. So there's this dynamic company called Radical Change Therapy. And when I say it's mind blowing because the level of therapy that they serve on, but not only that, you know, what they bring to the table in their platform alone, you can just go on their website, you're gonna be blown away. And their seminars, you're gonna be blown away. And just to talk to the people one on one, just to get the information, this, and the third, and how they just pour out into me, I was just like, oh. Okay, yeah, interesting. Because it's funny when they can just read you. And too often us as black people, because I heard somebody say this, was like, well, they not going to be picking around in my brain and trying to assess my thoughts. And I'm like, well, your thoughts is the condition of your heart. It's the condition of your life. Your body, your mind, and your spirit cannot thrive without this thing in the right here. It can't. This is the prime function of the body. Without it, nothing can function. So this condition, woo, God, I'm come for the girl today, but we here for it. Is like for real. You have to take care of this. If you've been through heartache, if you've been through any abuse, any grief, if you've been through anything that made your heart hurt, break your heart, or make your heart black or cold or blue, yeah, you got some work to do. And love is an action word, so yeah, you can't love nobody until you. Oh yeah, I see this ring because I bought this for myself. Until you what? This is my reminder to love me first. So yeah, until you love you, you can't love nobody else. Not your mama, not your daddy, not your brother, not your sister, not your friend, not your family, not your children, not somebody who could be a potential wife or a husband for you, like for real. Until you love you, you wasting time. It's time for us to check our energy. It's time for us to tighten up. So in this, I'm just reading and I'm like, okay, love, life, self sabotage. I said, wait a minute, time out. Who? Okay, Lord, I see why you took me back to this. I see you. He said self sabotage. So I started reading down the bullet points, and y'all can find this on the website. They actually give you a test, or and this I think is just one of the articles that they just want to put out there because I think this is something that is common, but it's not too often talked about. So like for real, radicalchangetherapy.com. You can go and check it out yourself. But this is where this come from, so that's where I reference it from. So I'm gonna read what it says. It said love, life, self sabotage happens at the following four love pivot points when connections are ending, starting, being, maintained, and growing. I said, wait a minute, time out. So you mean to tell me these LPPs, that's what they call love pivot points. I mean, this is basically just the entire relationship. Just the entire bond, just the entire process. Whether it's I just met you, we gonna date, we just talking, we engaged, we want to get married. Y'all, ending, starting, being maintained, and growing. It's all levels of relationships. So these are all pivot points for an opportunity for love, life, self-sabotage to happen. So it goes on to say to begin the process of overcoming love, life, self-sabotage, you must first learn how you personally navigate LPPs. And then it gave a list for starters. Ooh, this is a short list. A well-intentioned meaning you meant well, but in our reality, it came out another way. It was perceived differently. So even though you mean well, now that it's out there, it's like I feel like once an action's done, it's hard for it to be undone. But not saying that you can't come around and do something different to make up for it. More so, I say do something different to make a person forget that it ever happened. That's how that took. That part. But material things cannot do that. Gifts cannot do that. Money cannot do that. Sex cannot do that. Let's put it out there. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Jehovah Jireh. Yeah, drugs cannot do that. Like for real. And I pinpoint those things because all of those are things that people get addicted to, or things that people drive to keep from really dealing with what's at hand, and that's where we losing. So, in my truth, I'm using for example because yeah, I got some work to do. I'm like, on God, I'm like, yeah, at least Jesus Christ. Okay, well, maybe I need to take some steps today. Maybe I need to sit down. Maybe I need to have some time to myself so I can get some solitude and some understanding and take my mistakes and learn from them so I can apply them in the future, and it can show growth, it can show strength, and it can show that I'm wiser, and now I'm actually ready for something. So when God showing me all this stuff, he was telling me, he was like, girl, he said, you healed. He said, true. He said, I give it to you. You did a great job on doing the work. He said, I'm proud of you. Me, I'm happy. I'm boasting all weekend. Hey, I'm at this space. You know, I'm finally at this space at this point, and I feel good about it. But he said, girl, you healed. Meaning, I did the work. I went through the surgery. I dissected. And I've sewn myself back up, but that was just one stage of the healing. He said, now you in the recovery stage. I said, now listen, Jesus, man, come on now. Took me back to the medical field. That's why they say, medicine gonna always be there because it's a lot to learn from it. So if you put in perspective, you went through something, you got hurt, now you need surgery. Now you went through surgery. Now you out of surgery. Yes, they fixed the problem, but you still got to heal. You still got to recover. Healing is not just one point. Healing is many of things, and it takes time, and there's so many steps in a healing process. Now he said you in recovery stage, and I was like, look, God, what that mean? He said, well, now he said, really? He said you got to take time and let it work for you. What you in a rush for? Man, oh my God. I just was like, ooh, God, keep coming for the girl because kids and I have been telling my cousin, been telling my some family members like you gotta take care of yourself. Like for real, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta do it for you. Like if you don't do it for you, how can you expect anybody else to change? Come on now, I'm talking to myself or not. And I'm like, and you gotta allow yourself time to heal. I'm like, you are not allowing you to sit in this process and heal. Sit and be humble. Sit and find solitude. Sit and really do something different so you don't result to the same mistake, so you don't result to the same injury, so you don't result to the same pain. Like, Shanae, is you listen? I said, okay. I get it. I get it. He said, you've been trying to drill this into people for what? You've been trying to drill this into people for what? Was like, you really. I said, okay, touche. Touche. I caught it. I caught it. Okay, I'm in recovery stage. So now I got to sit in solitude and allow God to birth something new. Allow God to take my wound and even though it's going to be a scar, it's going to be a blessing behind all of it. Like, even though what I learned over the weekend, the perfect setup. Even though it was meant for bad, even though it's meant for evil, even though it came to steal, kill, and destroy me, like for real, like it worked for my good because now it's making me better. It's like a total knee replacement. I walk different. I talk different. I look different, huh? One thing I know, two things for sure. Y'all caught it, yes. Oh, baby girl, yes. She been working on it. She gonna keep working on it. Period. Yeah, because I'm reaching my weight goal, but also too, now I gotta tone up. So I finished one stage. Now I'm on to the next stage. Just like I've done the work to erase the pain. I've done the work to get over the pain. I've done the work to process the pain. I've done the work to acknowledge the pain. I've done the work to forgive myself as well as forgive others. I've done the work to talk about it. Now I have to let it work for me in a sense that I just need to recover. I need to recoup. I need to bounce back. I need to take therapy, physical, mental, psychological, spiritual therapy, so I can recover, so I can rejuvenate, so I can be refreshed, so I can replenish and be restored, so I can walk in the fullness thereof. Come on, God, because you in here today and I hear you. Yeah. But it goes back to what Mr. Will told me. He said, girl, if it's working for you, why you in a rush? Why you in a rush? So in that sense, so now I'm just like, take a deep breath, fall back, get it together. And now that I had to face the reality of my situation, but right now I just need to take the time to give it space, because at the end of the day, if something for you, it's gonna work. If something is for you, if it's meant, it's gonna happen. And if something is for you, it's gonna be for you. It's gonna be for you. It's gonna be for you. And it's going to be for you. Like, it's for you. It got your name on it. And when it comes to relationships and this and third, women need to understand that man was made, but we was taken from a specific man, and that man we already connected with. He already sensed everything about us. He probably know more about us than we know about ourselves, like for real. But like, it's that connection is already there. And just like you are in your waiting period, he's in his waiting period. But let's change that waiting period. I'm gonna give y'all some points to think about. Okay, so instead of saying you're in your waiting period, your waiting phase, um, I want to say this: if you like something, you have to be patient with it. If you like it, be patient to a sense to say, that person got time to grow. That person got time to mature. That person got time to change. Be patient with it. What you in a rush for is working for you, right? Hmm. If you love something, come on now, love. I love this word, y'all. I do. If you love something, be patient with it. Be patient enough to say that I love you, and I give you space to work it out or figure out what it is you need to figure out. I give you space to get yourself together because I'm still getting myself together. I give you space to a sense where, okay, this person ain't reaching out, this person ain't talking to you, or this person basically showing you that they need space. Understand that it's working for you because this person's trying to be respectful, this person trying to be honorable, this person trying to be loving, and they trying to figure it out just like you. And too often we feel like we need the pressure push into it because we're afraid. Here go this afraid word. We're gonna lose that person, or we're afraid we're gonna mess it up, or we're afraid we're gonna make a mess of the situation. And our reality is that sometimes people just need to figure out their own lives and how that looks when it comes to being with somebody else, like lives coming together, like for real. And that's like with family, that's with friends, and that's with dating, and even like with your kids. So too often we tend to say, well, I birthed this child, I made this child, this and the third, and we're gonna talk about more of that tomorrow. But And we just feel like what we say is best and what we know is best is not. It's not. Because you birthed this child, but you don't know this child. Being a parent, you learn as you grow. You learn as you go. And you learn how to love this child for who this child is. And the same process as you love your child is the same process that you're supposed to love your human, your person, your husband, your wife, your friend, your fit. It's a process. Too often we quit to forfeit a relationship, forfeit a courtship, forfeit a good opportunity because of mistakes, because of perfection, because we just think that men and women supposed to just come in already all the way together. If we was supposed to come already together, then I mean, I'm just saying they must be perfect. I'm just saying. But with the world is misconstrued. The world is all up in their head. They can't figure it out. They can't process it because they are missing the soul purpose. Love is trust. Trusting God, not being afraid of what the outcome gonna be, not being afraid. It's a repeated cycle, not being afraid because somebody like, well, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to do that. No, 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 no. There is no fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Power from the heavens above, because Jesus got all power in his hand. That's what happened when he rose. Love in our heart. Love, 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 love. Be love. Show love. Expect love. Love is a good thing. Love is the best thing going. Do you hear me? Love is so freaking grand, y'all. Like, oh God, y'all just don't know how much. Love is amazing. A sound mind. Quit overthinking stuff. Quit making something out to be what it definitely is not. Come on, y'all. Talk to me, okay? I felt that. But like, quit overthinking it. You cannot live for today and you worry about tomorrow. Come on, we're gonna talk about it or not. Too often we want to get to the end. We want to get married. We want to be with this person. But we want to miss what's in between. The bond, the building, the growth, the process. The process, y'all. Do not skip the process. Like, oh God, check yourself. Oh, let me see what's wrong with the baby. 1 second. My favorite little person, you guys. My favorite little person. I love me some Tookie Tookie. So when you think about being in a relationship, when you think about your friends, when you think about your family, it's just like your child. Like as they grow, they're ever changing. As they grow, personality changes. As they grow, life is changing, circumstances changing, housing situations is changing, jobs is changing, schools is changing, life is changing. So you have to be willing to put in the work with that person, like for real. Put in the work. Check your energy. Check your energy. It's not all about you when it comes to you and somebody else. Because at the end of the day, your life reflects on your loved ones. Your life reflects on your children. Your life reflects in the decisions that you make because you affect somebody. You're going to affect somebody. So when you got the mindset that you're doing this by yourself and you doing this alone or you don't need nobody, check your energy. Check your energy. So I'm gonna finish up with this little self sabotage, and then we're gonna move on because I got a few more things to drop in here before we done. So, as it was saying, this is a short list. Well intentioned action. So that means you had every intention to do the right thing, every intention to do it right, every intention to Really put your best foot forward. But you gotta allow yourself room for mistakes. I'm gonna put that out there. And the other person. So well intentioned actions, people with childhood trauma, childhood situations that they hadn't faced, that they hadn't dealt with, performing romantic relationships that inevitably lead to love life self sabotage. So oftentimes the first thing is choosing fear over freedom by maintaining connection with exes. Guilty. Guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty because I I had been keeping connections with people that I dealt with in the past, but it was just a sense because like we were so cool and we were so cool that we had a good connection. We probably never seen ourselves in a relationship, or it just didn't work out, or many other circumstances. He wasn't fit for me, I wasn't fit for him. We didn't want to be together, but we dealt with each other, that type of stuff. So it's so many levels when it comes to that. But I'm guilty because I have had held connection with exes. And I say for many reasons. A lot of people just want to hold connections just to have a plan B, just have a backup plan, somebody that they can always run to if their circumstance don't work out. Well, that's self sabotage. Number one, you holding on to misguiding feelings because holding on to those connections really don't allow you to release yourself because you always wondering what if, what could. You always saying, well, this person good enough for me to sleep with, this person good enough for me to hang with, but this person not good enough for me to actually be with. Come on now, we're gonna talk about it now. We're gonna tell the truth. Let's make it make sense. Sit down. Thank you. So sweet. Thank you. So tired, y'all. He's something else. So, like for real, so choosing fear over freedom by maintaining connection with exes, you don't know how to be alone. You fear of letting that person find somebody because then you ain't got nobody, or you fear of letting go of that person, and then in the back of your head you like there's a possibility that this could be your person. So like it's fear on so many levels, but I mean that's something to think about, and it's crazy because yeah, it's radical. So number two was mismanaging extremes by dating from either what can you do for me and what can I do for you. Now I'm gonna tell you right here. I can tell you now. A lot of times I find myself in situations. Yeah, I have found myself in situations like this. Not my current situation, but in the past. People look at you as an asset. Oh, she got a good head on her. She got a good head on her shoulder. She's a hardworking mom. She got all her stuff together. She going to school for this and the third woo woo woo. But you came with a motive. What can I do for you? How I'm gonna make you look? No, nah, that ain't gonna work. Anybody that has a motive saying that you a good fit for me or I just know you the one. How you know I'm the one? I just know you different. How am I different? Make that make sense. I'm just saying. You just really bring out the best in me and you just make me better and you you complete me. Huh? I bring out the best in you till I don't bring out the best in you. I make you better until you don't do better. Make them y'all, we're gonna talk about it, not Jehovah Jireh. I complete you, but you should have came already complete or whole, or at least had yourself, at least 80% of yourself together. But make that make sound good, good intentions. But at the same time, you got a motive. There's nothing I can do for you but love you. If you can't see the other person as a person that just there to love you, honor you, and respect you, all that other stuff, yeah, that's extra, extra. Read all about it. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, what can you do for me? Nothing. That part. Respect me, honor, and love me. That's it. Ain't nothing you can buy. Ain't nothing that requires a lot of, well, it requires work in a sense that it should come natural. I'm just saying. When you love something, you compassionate about it, it come easy. You love doing it. You love pouring into it. You love working hard for it. You love giving it your all. Like you love just doing everything that involves this person that you love. Like it just naturally happens. You naturally want it. But then too, that first sneak in, you like, now maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I'm too in on my head. Maybe this person, what if she ain't all in? What if she ain't focused? What if she playing games? This and the third. Fear will make a of you. We're gonna tell the truth, but we not. Jehovah Jireh. What can you do for me? What can I do for you? That type of stuff. Yeah, nah, that's love self sabotage. So, number three, creating dysfunction by under communicating, assuming, and rule making. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. We're here for okay, Jesus. Now, I learned a lot in this area. So, it's dysfunctional in a sense where under communicating, meaning, oh, Tookie. That's one thing y'all should not buy for your kids is a glass table, and especially tables with sharp ends, because Josiah has hit his head many a times. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, my baby. Let me pick you. Oh, sorry. It's okay. So, yeah. So, like, under communicating, meaning one person is always talking, the other person is saying bare minimum. Under communicating in the sense where, no, sir. No. Lay down. You're not finna get my phone. Thank you. So, under communicating to a sense where it's like you the only one that's always asking questions. You the only one act like you interested. You the only one got something to talk about and the other person don't. That's under communicating. That means that person's not open. That means that person has something to hide. That means that person is that's a control mechanism where it's just one sided. It's one sided. If this person feel like you're not good enough to talk to you, then you're not good enough for them. You're not. Just accept the fact. I ain't good enough for you. I ain't. Sound like I'm not your type. That part. I'm just saying. That's their loss. It ain't yours. Come on, now we're gonna talk about it or not. We're gonna tell the truth. We got to. So like for real. So creating this function in the sense assuming. Oh my God, now this right here really make a tell of yourself. I'm gonna tell you why. Because assumption just what it is. You cannot assume something. You cannot assume something. You cannot assume something. I cannot assume because um this person love best lifestyle that he don't want to change or that he can't change or that he's gonna be an alpha male where he always got to have another woman, and too often that's normalized nowadays that having more than one partner is okay, and it's not. It's not. I'm here to tell y'all. We're going to talk about it or not because, I'm going to be real because I'm 1,000 at the end of the day. Number one, I will never have an open relationship because what I don't like sharing, I do not share. I'm sorry. That is not my cup of tea. That is exactly why when I'm serious about something or I'm focused in, I cut everybody out because I do not share. I don't have time to share. Number two, I am too much of a woman. I am three women in one. I come as an asset. Do you hear me? I have all the attributes. I'm a darn good wife. One thing I know, two things for sure, and a darn so good mother. And at the end of the day, I'm a woman before anything else. That part. That part. Very memorable, very respectful, very loving, very caring, pouring out, fixing food, making sure your clothes straight, making sure your clothes washed, making sure the house clean, making sure when you come home you ain't got no but kisses and hugs. That part, do you hear me? We're gonna talk about it or not, Jehovah Jireh, because I am the whole package. I am more than enough. Do you hear me? I can't tell y'all enough about that because they cannot take it. And you know what? That's assumption too. Because too often that men look at women like me and say that we too much. Meaning they can never please us. What's pleasing us? What is it? We can never be pleased to a sense what something is never good enough. What's good enough? Is something ever good enough? I'm confused. Or that it's always going to be a competition. But let me tell you now, I learned this right here, and I love this. I love this because I always cop this out of the earth. So men is good with women flirting with them or making eye contact with them or admiring them, especially when they with you. Now let that be on the other foot. Let a man admire me. Let a man flirt with me or a man compliment me to my man. One thing I know, two things for sure, they feel some type of way. They do. But that's because men do not know how to take the things that they dish out. And I'm going to be real because we out here, we real in these streets. Women can take more pain than men can. And men just can't take it. Why you think y'all don't birth kids? In the name of Jesus, look at God. I'm just saying, we're going to talk about it or not. But the thing is, men really fear of themselves coming out in their woman. Like, for real. They do. But at the end of the day, what you afraid of? Again, Psalm 56 and 3 said, you must trust in the Lord. You're going to trust God that this woman is more than enough. She is amazing. She is everything a man could ever hope for and more. And guess what? And you got the privilege, the opportunity, the honor to love her, to give her the world, to be the man that she chose, to actually be the one that worked out, the one for her. My God, Jehovah, is we gonna talk about it or not? Only way you should fear that you're never enough. The only way that resides is when you feel like that person is not enough for you, or you feel like you always got to have a plan B, or you feel like you always got to have a backup plan, or you feel like you ain't experienced enough. Come on, now we're gonna talk about it or not. I mean, you need to check your age. You want to check something, check that. I'm just saying, growing up or not. We gonna talk about it because I'm here for it. But like, let's be real out here. So too often we create dysfunction and assumptions that yeah, how you got her is how you gonna lose her, that part. So I'm just saying, if you dishonest, then you gonna lose her to dishonesty. If you got her by cheating on somebody else, you're gonna lose her to cheating, that part. I'm just saying, what goes around comes around. If you got her and it was in an honest way and it was wholeheartedly, authentic, and you had great intentions and good motives, and you really came in a sense where you both maybe came from a single lifestyle, but you really want to give her a chance, then guess what? You should think nothing but good. You should think nothing but positive. You should want nothing but for to see it play out and work out for you. Like for real. Too often we have assumptions and it's all out of fear, all out of expectations, all out of our own things that we hadn't dealt with as to why we have to work on the things that we need to work on so we can be a better individual for the other person, like for real. So creating dysfunction by rule making. Oh y'all, this one hit me. I ain't gonna lie. This one hit me because I used to do this, like for real. I'll be like, so all I get to say is don't lie to me, don't cheat on me, and don't disrespect me. And I did, I put that out there. But you know what? I gotta quit putting rules because number one, that set limits. And it set limits to a point where me and me, I set limits on myself because when I say don't lie to me, don't cheat on me, and don't disrespect me, so when it happened, now I didn't leave no room for the other person to make a mistake. I didn't leave room. No, no, where you talking? Where you talking? No, I'm fixing I didn't go nowhere. Mommy do never end. But you know what? I make it work. One thing I can say, I make it work. You know, it's just like when I got my clients or I'm working from home, I still have to figure out how to make it work. Anything that's worth having is worth the work. Anything worth doing is worth putting in the work. And if I get frustrated or if I feel like if I feel defeated or I just, get tired of the pauses and the stops and different things like that and the roadblocks and stuff that come along with trying to make it work, then guess what? I give up on myself. So when you give up on yourself and you don't try, then guess what? You can't expect to go to the next level. You can't expect nothing different. You can't expect no change because you just gave up. You just quit. So how can you expect for anything different and you gonna be right back at point A at the first step? Make it make sense. While she looking. Here, sit down. Mama daddy. Mama daddy, sit. So, this is an example, like for real. So, yeah. Whew, back to this. So, like rule making. So, yeah. So, like you set limits on yourself because now you like, well, don't do this, and that means I ain't gonna. So, you have to leave room for grace and space. Number one. Number two, you have to leave room for mistakes because if a person feel like they can make a mistake with you, then they're gonna feel like it's impossible. And nothing is impossible because we can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens us. And if you make a mistake, the key is to learn from it and not repeat that same mistake. Now, if it's repeated mistakes and it's a repeated habit, now I'm gonna tell you now, don't waste your time because that's not what I'm saying. There's a difference. There's a difference. Rule making also too, making rules is not a game. Love, dating, and stuff is not a game. I don't care how much they put out there. Dating is a game. It's not. Love is not a game because you learn as you go. And that's the thing. Too often we don't want to learn how to love somebody. How can you learn how to love somebody if you don't see them in all seasons? Come on now. How can you learn to love somebody if you don't see them when they high and they low? How can you learn to love somebody if you don't make the time and give it time to learn how to love somebody? It's a process. It takes time. You grow to love. You grow to fall in love, but you also grow to love somebody. It's work. And it's not something that's just gonna happen overnight. And people really think like it's a magical thing. Oh, this person gonna come perfect, and this person gonna come perfect, and that's my person. No, that is not what God said. God said when a man findeth a wife, he finds a good thing. If you don't see her as a good thing, then my God, I don't know what you get with the girl for anyway. I'm just saying, is she a good thing or not? Is she good for you or not? Does she make you better? Does she pour into you? And I'm saying she, but he. Does he add value to your life? Does he make you feel good? Does he not only make you feel good but make you look good? Does he respect you in his tone of voice, in the things that he say, how he acts around you, how he acts in front of his boys, how he acts in front of his family? Like, these are all the things that show if a person really feel like you're a good person for them, because you can see it. You can see it. And not only make you feel good, but it makes you look good. And it makes you see the good in that person, like, for real. So, like, yeah, it's not a game out here. We don't set rules because we gonna be bottled up in this box. No, we don't set no rules because there's no limit to what God can do. There's no limit to what could happen. There's no limit, and we not omitted from making mistakes. We not omitted for falling short. We not omitted for feeling like when circumstances happen that we can't bounce back from it. Like, for real. If it's worth having, it's worth fighting for. It's worth putting in the work. And too often we get this assumption, because that's what the churches and stuff are teaching nowadays, that your person is gonna come already complete. No, because when you get into marriage and you marry and y'all can go through some stuff, guess what? That's the same thing that happened when you dating somebody. You're gonna go through some stuff. But see, people take marriage and be like, well, it's a title. And then they see marriage as a covenant, or they see marriage as a vow, or it's just a label and it's not that serious. In our reality, marriage is no different from your dating lifestyle. And I feel like when you date, you should date the same way as if you was married. You should date as if you as if you in a relationship. You should date even though you single. If you into this person, you want to work for this person, be occupied and really give your all, like, for real. Because what you do to a person is what you're gonna get in return. And our reality, like, for real, like, it's just this person can sense it, this person can feel it. And even though you try to tell this person that it's not this, or why they feel like it's too good to be true, this and the third, it's because somewhere in that sense, something is being dishonest. And you can be to a point, like in my past, like, okay, when I say I didn't want to deal with this, that means I didn't want to deal with this, and I meant that. But I didn't want to deal with it, in a sense, was because I didn't want to deal with it. But if I love this person, then I should have been more open to the circumstance. But because the situation had already became into a lie, I didn't want to deal with it. And that's what I meant. But you can't go on in a relationship thinking that you're gonna have this truth and that it's not gonna come out, and then you think that I'm just eventually just gonna get over, or it's gonna pass by. No, it don't work like that, because you didn't have enough respect. Number one, to tell me. You didn't have enough respect. Number two, to listen when I said I didn't want to deal with it. And number three, I didn't have the courage, the wisdom, and enough love and worth for myself to say, I don't want to be in this circumstance. So that's where the reality sit in, when you got to check yourself and check your energy. We're going to talk about it or not. So yeah, it's a lot. You got to be solid on what you believe, what you stand for, and what you plan on putting up with. There's boundaries for a reason. Like, for reals, we're going to talk about it or not. So, like, yeah, rules, rule making, that's just too much. Words complicate things. It does. When you just trying to say too much, it complicate things. Just act it out. Just act it out. I'm learning that now. Just be in action. Quit saying so much. Quit talking so much. Just do you. At the end of the day, what comes from the heart will reach the heart, and that person will see how genuine you are. Person will see how loving you are. That person will see how patient you are. That person will see how honorable you are, how trustworthy you are, how loyal you are, how respectful you are, how you are an asset, how you are there and all, and so much more, how you basically are amazing. That person will see it. You don't have to give your definition. You don't have to write these 4-page letters and these text messages. Yeah, I made a joke about that because guys always want to talk about girls always writing these long messages and they act like we got time to read that. I told them, well, when you took us out on more dates, then guess what? We could talk about it and we ain't gotta text about it. I'm just saying, but for real though, like for real. Just be about your business and act on it. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, another thing is avoiding this number 4, avoiding evolution by internalizing guilt tripping and poorly coping with transition. So, internalizing evolution by internalizing meaning to a sense where what's on the inside you want to hold it in instead of expressing it, instead of showing it, instead of receiving it, instead of having it, instead of being it. You want to keep it on the inside, and it's like you waiting for the right time. When is the right time? I feel like when I met you was the right time. When I introduced myself was the right time for us to start being who we is, what we want to be, and what we expect out of the situation. Guilt tripping. Guilt tripping to a sense where you feel guilty, like, okay, so have I ever had a guilt trip? Ooh, let me think. Mm, I don't know. That's something I'm gonna have to think about. So I'm gonna do that for homework for myself. Guilt tripping, because I don't know if I ever had like a guilt tripping, but I can use my last situation as an example